Hello guys, it's Pro Wrestling News and today we have some AEW Fighter Fest spoilers. So if you don't want to know the spoilers, mute the video or just click off it and don't watch it. So warning, spoiler alert. AEW Fighter Fest spoilers have been leaked by a Reddit user, and just like the NXT Great American Bash situation where their main event result has been spoiled, AEW has also suffered the same fate. So let's get into it. AEW will hold their second night of Fyter Fest next week. They recorded the action this week and allowed select fans in the building, friends and family, that sort of stuff. Now, the entirety of the night 2 of Fyter Fest has apparently been leaked. A Reddit user named Space Force 1 claimed to reveal just about every detail about the second night of AEW Fyter Fest. We must warn you that this is a huge possible spoiler warning, as AEW can, if they want to, reshoot the whole thing. This user has a proven track record when looking through their previous posts, and Ringside News is the source of this information, so check them out for more information and more updates. It seems like this person might be legit, and it could be someone who wasn't just a fan in the building. It is unclear who the leak is at the time, but AEW certainly has some kind of issue if these are legit. Omega and Adam Page vs Private Party kicked it off with the only title match on the card. Pretty fast-paced match. Page and Omega retained with the last call. So these are the spoilers. The Omega and Adam Page vs Private Party match is the first match that they have shown. They have shown the results of. The spoilers. Lance Archer vs Joey Janela. Archer attacks before the bell and pounds Janela around for a bit. Janela gets in a little offense, but it's mostly ineffective until he counters a blackout with a nice inverted face buster. Now, he mentioned blackout, so this fan or supposed fan can be a WWE inspired person, maybe he's a fan of WWE too, I don't know. But it's quite interesting. He called it the blackout. He goes up top, but Roberts distracts the ref and allows surprise interference. Archer capitalizes with a blackout to the outside and rolls Janela back in for a 3 count. Now, the promo. Taz out to cut a promo on Moxley not showing up. Taz says Moxley is done at the fight. A fight for the Fallen. FTR and the Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade. Heels out first with a troll as they roll in loaded up in the old pickup truck. Lots of great offense. Poison Rana off the top. Splash off the top to the outside. FTR hit a shatter machine on a running Phoenix. FTR set up the Mindbreaker, but Wheeler got pulled off the ropes to the outside. Harwood turned and walked to the other corner, and Matt climbed the ropes for the assist to land it. Finished, teased Bucks vs FTR. The Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade picked up the win. After their match, FTR helps up the Bucks and there's a brief stare down, but they all go to the back without fighting. Nyla Rose was to be determined. So they didn't actually tell you who Nyla Rose was fighting. Okay. Nyla squashes 2 jobbers in a handicap match. Wins with a powerbomb, then cuts a promo saying she's going to be the women's champion again. They wrote disappointing. So I'm confused whether they are a WWE fan and an AEW fan, whether this is possibly WWE's agent, I don't know, or it's just someone who is solely an AEW fan. I don't really know. I'm not getting much info on this. I'm not understanding where this person is coming from. Dark Order and Cabana vs SCU. Scorpio carries most of the load for SCU early. Lee is dominant when he's in. Cabana looks conflicted and walks away from the ropes in a couple of times, but eventually starts taking orders from Lee. He begins working in tandem moves with Lee and Grayson as well. Finish comes when Cabana pulls Daniels off a pin on Grayson while Lee is on the outside. Daniels gives him the "what's wrong with you" scolding, and they have a brief stare down while Cabana contemplates what he's done. This allows Lee to sneak back into the ring and hit the big clothesline. Grayson gets up and tags in Cabana, letting him get the pin. Promo. Woman screaming, no idea what was actually happening. Lol. This is what the Reddit user said about this, so I don't really get much of what he is saying here. I don't understand what he's talking about here, but let's continue. Chris Jericho vs Orange Cassidy, the main event. This is some of Chris Jericho's best ring psychology and storytelling. Cassidy starts off by putting his hands in his pockets and running circles around Jericho for a bit, but Jericho eventually takes over. The majority of the match from here is a series of moves by Jericho with his signature taunting in between, followed by several brief moments where it looks like Cassidy will gain momentum. He never does, with Jericho eventually countering out his runs of offense after a couple of moves and taking control again. Jericho maintains control and locks in the walls of Jericho. He uses the ropes for leverage several times and gets admonished by Aubrey Edwards, but keeps doing it. She catches him again and knocks his hand free, allowing Cassidy to counter out. Cassidy wins "boo yeah" punches and looks to gain momentum again, but Jericho stalls him again by dumping him outside. Fantastic underdog stuff. So clearly, to me, now I'm getting the impression this person who leaked the results is a fan. He has to be an AEW fan to some extent if he's calling this fantastic underdog stuff. Cassidy finally has his moment and gets some real offense in with a Hurricane Run out to the corner, followed by hands back in his pockets and lazy kicks. He feigns the final lazy kick wind up, but he hits a super kick instead, then goes up top and hits a big elbow for a 2 count. Jericho regains control into the walls of Jericho, but Cassidy is eventually able to roll out of it. Jericho hits a code breaker, but Cassidy kicks out at 2. Cassidy counters with a vertical suplex into a stunner. He runs the ropes and looks to be gaining momentum for a second time, but Jericho spins the Judas effect out of nowhere for the win. Great match with great storytelling. He's got great before the storytelling in capitals, in all caps. So to me, it's quite clear that he or she is an AEW fan, but it's not clear why they were leaking the results, of course. Cassidy has Daniel Bryan style underdog momentum. WWE also had an issue with the results of their main event, Great American Bash, being spoilt, in which the result of the main event had WWE going furious over the situation. It is yet to be seen how AEW reacts to the news of their Fyter Fest show results, all results in this case, being leaked. They could reshoot the whole thing at Daily's place, or AEW can be more calm about the situation and just let things play out. Looking back at the video, I just realised that the Reddit user who apparently leaked the results of AEW Fyter Fest Night 2 said Omega / Hangman versus Private Party. But that's not even the match announced for Fyter Fest Night 2, so I don't know, but I think this guy is wrong. And I think he's probably just made all this stuff up. Because the match announced for Fyter Fest Night 2 is Omega and Hangman versus the Best Friends. If you made it to the end of the video, like the video, share it all over if you want, and subscribe to Pro Wrestling News Bite.